back to the channel. Everyone, today is a beautiful day to talk about the absolute chaos unfolding on our screens. So grab a coffee and let's jump right into the deep end of the drama. So I just finished watching the latest developments and honestly my jaw is still on the floor. I mean, I knew things were getting bad with this whole Patty Williams blackmail situation, but I did not expect Jack Abbott to actually go this far. You guys know I have been following this show for a long time and I have seen Jack do some crazy things to protect the people he loves. But this is just next level insane. Jack actually stood in the middle of the Abbott living room and told Traci and Kyle that they need to pack their bags and move out. Yes, you heard me right. He is kicking his own sister and his own son out of their family home. And why? Because Patty Williams is moving in. Patty Williams. I just can't even wrap my head around the logistics of this nightmare. And let's just talk about the sheer panic and confusion that must be going through Traci and Kyle's heads right now. Traci is the heart and soul of that family. She has been the peacemaker for decades. She was the one who actually caught Patty handing an envelope of cash to Dr. Markham in the park a few episodes ago. She knows Patty is up to no good. She knows Patty is a dangerous, delusional woman who has a history of ruining lives. So for Jack to just look her in the eye and say, hey, you need to leave because my former abuser is moving into the guest room, or maybe even the master bedroom, it is just sick. Traci must be thinking Jack has completely lost his mind. But Kyle, oh man, Kyle is a whole different story. Kyle is already frantic because his mother Diane is missing. He has been tearing the city apart trying to find her. He literally went to Detective Burrow with Jack to point the finger at Patty, and now his dad is inviting the prime suspect to live in their house. Kyle is going to explode. He is going to absolutely lose his mind and probably get violent because he knows Patty is toxic. Kyle is not stupid. He knows Diane didn't just walk away from her job at Jabbo and her family. He knows Patty did something, but Jack can't tell him the truth. Jack is trapped in this horrible corner where he has to play the bad guy to save his wife. Because let's be real here for a second. Jack is only doing this because Patty showed him that terrifying photo of Diane drugged and unconscious in a padded room. Patty is holding all the cards. She literally told Jack that if he doesn't enter into a romantic relationship with her, Diane is going to suffer for years and never be the same woman again. So Jack is sacrificing his relationship with his son and his sister to keep Diane breathing. It is tragic. It really is. But at the same time, it is so frustrating to watch because you just want him to blink twice and signal to Kyle that he is being blackmailed. But he can't. He has to play the part perfectly or Patty will snap. And playing the part means actually going out in public with Patty. Which brings me to Abby Newman. Abby is dealing with her own massive trauma right now after getting crushed by a chandelier in that crazy tornado crossover event, not to mention all the Devin and Mariah drama. So Abby is already on edge, and then she sees Jack Abbott out on a date with Patty Williams. Abby was absolutely disgusted, and honestly, who can blame her? The whole town knows what Patty did to Jack on that yacht. The whole town knows Patty drugged him and manipulated him and basically held him hostage. So to see Jack willingly parading around town with this woman like they are a happy couple, it makes my stomach turn just thinking about it. Abby's reaction is exactly what the rest of Genoa City is going to feel. Disgust, confusion, pity. Abby probably thinks Jack is having a massive midlife crisis or a total mental breakdown. Or maybe she thinks Diane leaving him just broke his brain. But seeing Jack with Patty is just a slap in the face to everything Jack stands for. And you know Abby is going to run and tell someone. She might tell Devin, she might tell Victor, she might tell anyone who will listen. The rumor mill is going to go into overdrive, and Jack just has to sit there and take it. He has to smile at Patty and pretend he is enjoying his salad while his insides are screaming. It is some dark, dark stuff. Meanwhile, let's check in on the actual victim in all of this. Diane Jenkins Abbott is currently living in a literal horror movie. She is locked in this weird cabin or house with barred windows, and she is being completely gaslit by Dr. Lawrence Markham. Diane is a smart woman. She knows how to manipulate people because she has done it herself. Remember when she faked her own death for a decade? Yeah, Diane knows a scam when she sees one. So she is not falling for Markham's whole "I am a caring doctor helping you through a breakdown" routine. Diane is actively questioning him. She is pushing back. She is demanding answers. But Markham is a cold piece of work. When Diane demands to speak to Jack, Markham just looks at her with that creepy, calm doctor face and says no. He tells her that Jack is the one who entrusted him with her care. Can you imagine the psychological damage that does? Diane is sitting there, locked in a room, and the shady psychiatrist is telling her that her own husband put her there, that Jack wanted this. It is the ultimate form of gaslighting. Markham is using Jack's name as a weapon to break Diane's spirit. And Diane is screaming. She is begging to just talk to Jack right now. She says if Jack is so worried about her, let him hear her voice, but Markham refuses. He tells Diane that her words are aimed at her husband and that talking to him could trigger another mental breakdown. What kind of twisted medical excuse is that? Oh, you can't talk to your husband because you might get upset. It is just a convenient way to keep her completely isolated. Markham has those fake medical records to legally justify keeping her there, so Diane is essentially a prisoner of the medical system right now. It is terrifying because nobody knows where she is. Well, nobody except Patty, and Patty is loving every single second of this. We saw Patty make a phone call to Markham to check on her little prisoner. Markham tells Patty that Diane is being uncooperative. And Patty's response, she doesn't care. She literally does not care if Diane is screaming the house down. Patty tells Markham, I have already put my plan in motion. And I have no doubt that I will get everything I want by the end of the night. Let's unpack that statement because it is chilling. What does Patty want by the end of the night? She wants Jack. She wants the Abbott mansion. She wants Traci and Kyle gone. And she is getting all of it. Patty has orchestrated this entire thing so perfectly that she is literally moving into the house she was kicked out of years ago. She is replacing Diane in Jack's life. She is playing house. But the scariest part is what happens when she gets bored. Or what happens when Jack slips up and shows how much he hates her. Patty is unstable. If she feels like Jack is faking it, she could call Markham and tell him to do something drastic to Diane. I just keep thinking about how long the writers are going to drag this out. Because honestly, it is hard to watch Jack be so defeated. Jack is usually a fighter, but right now he is a broken man. He is letting Patty dictate his entire life. Maybe I am being too harsh on him. I mean, what else can he do? If he goes to the cops, Patty has Markham move Diane or hurt her. The cops can't find a secret cabin that easily. Jack's hands are tied, but seeing him kick Traci and Kyle out. That was the moment I realized Jack is fully under Patty's control. He has surrendered. And what are Traci and Kyle going to do? They aren't just going to pack their bags and go quietly into the night. Kyle is going to fight this. He might even stalk Patty. He might follow her to see where she goes. Traci is going to dig deeper. She already knows Markham is involved. Traci might go to Victor Newman, or she might go to Phyllis. I know Phyllis and Traci aren't exactly best friends, but Phyllis is currently riding high on her corporate victory over Kane and she has a massive grudge against Patty. Plus, Phyllis and Sharon have that trauma bond from when they were locked up by Martin Laurent. And a lot of fans on social media are speculating that Dr. Markham is actually Martin with a new face. If that is true, Phyllis and Sharon are going to get involved. I really hope they do, because Jack cannot save Diane on his own. He is too compromised. He is too close to the situation and Patty has him by the throat. We need an outside force to blow this wide open. Maybe Abby will say something to the wrong person and it will trigger an investigation. Maybe Kyle will hack Patty's phone. Something has to give. Because I cannot watch Patty Williams play the lady of the manor at the Abbott house for the next 6 months. I just can't. It is too gross. Let me just ramble a bit more about Abby because that scene really stuck with me. Abby has been through the ringer lately. She was crushed by a chandelier. She is dealing with Devin and Mariah's never-ending custody and legal drama over Dominic, and she is just trying to find some peace. And then she walks into a restaurant and sees Jack Abbott, a man she has known her whole life, a man who is a pillar of the Genoa City community, sitting there on a romantic date with Patty Williams. Abby's face was a picture of pure, unadulterated disgust. And I totally get it. I mean, Patty is the woman who shot Victor. Patty is the woman who has wreaked havoc on the Newman family and the Abbott family for decades. For Abby, seeing Jack with Patty is like seeing someone casually having dinner with a monster. Abby doesn't know about the blackmail. She doesn't know Diane is locked in a padded room. All Abby sees is a man who has seemingly lost his mind and his morals. It makes you wonder if Abby is going to confront Jack. I would love to see Abby march up to that table and throw a glass of water in Patty's face. But knowing Abby, she might just give Jack a look of absolute contempt and walk away, leaving Jack to feel even more isolated and ashamed. And that isolation is exactly what Patty wants. By forcing Jack to kick Traci and call out, and by forcing him to be seen with her in public, Patty is systematically cutting Jack off from his entire support system. She is making him a pariah. Soon, nobody in Genoa City will want anything to do with Jack Abbott. And when Jack has no one left, Patty will be the only person he has. It is classic abuser behavior. Patty is isolating her victim so he becomes completely dependent on her. It is so dark and twisted, and it shows just how far gone Patty really is. She thinks she is winning Jack's heart, but she is actually just breaking his spirit. When Diane was questioning Dr. Markham, you could see the wheels turning in her head. She was trying to find a weakness. She was trying to figure out what his angle is, but Markham is a brick wall. When he told her that Jack entrusted him with her care, Diane's eyes just widened in pure panic. Because if Jack really did put her there, then she has no hope. Of course, we know Jack didn't do it. But Diane doesn't know that for sure. Diane knows Jack was furious with her. Diane knows their marriage was on the rocks. So Markham is planting the seed of doubt in Diane's mind. He is making her wonder if Jack finally snapped and decided to lock her away. It is brilliant psychological torture, honestly. But Diane is a survivor. I refuse to believe she is just going to sit in that cabin and let Markham and Patty win. Diane is going to find a way out. She might pretend to be cooperative. She might try to seduce Markham. She will do whatever it takes to survive. But until then, we have to watch Jack play the role of the loving boyfriend to Patty Williams while his real wife is trapped in a nightmare. It is going to be a long, bumpy ride, you guys. Okay, I think I have ranted enough for today. My brain is fried from trying to process all this Genoa City madness. This show is exhausting, but I just can't look away. I will be back with more updates as soon as we see what Kyle and Traci do next, because there is no way they are leaving that mansion without a fight. Stay tuned, stay restless, and I will see you all in the next report.